Alright, so I did a little bit of a short entry this time. I was gonna say we're gonna jump right back into it. I was gonna say I really enjoyed the way that they made this menu. Just have the moving lines in the background. And the music and the vocals just tie together. I was gonna say a vast improvement over the last one. I can only hope they continue with this because this is amazing. I love it so far. I mean, I immediately went from Lone Echo for the first one. I mean, it felt kind of short and it was done in like 5 hours, but it was so well made. I enjoyed it, but I'm loving this, so let's jump back into it. Memory bank. Ooh, the lines don't move here. I was gonna say, I believe last time we left off just as we were getting to the live sample cores in the scientific lab. We were, I was gonna say, just had flown over from the main after getting the fuel cell. And now we've got to go get some live samples and some stasis fields. Waiting. Ladybugs, Cavyx, and another TT viewer. I was gonna say, good to see that you're in here. I was gonna say, I think you guys might be the bots that automatically view. I was gonna say, I'm not sure, or you guys are really punctual and you're watching streams all night. I'm gonna say, in either case, I appreciate it. Alright, now we're just waiting on the memory to load. Let's see, does it look right? Yeah, it looks good. Ooh, window effect. Oh, I'm sorry. Continue. There we go. Yep. Back in it. Ooh, I am tangled already. There we go. Alright. Lights on. Do I want to go over here first? Ooh. Interesting.
This bridge is currently disconnected as part of the lockdown procedures.
Correct. The doors won't open until both sides of the bridge are fully extended.
Did they get everyone out?
According to these logs...
No. Not everyone got out.
I hear noises. I don't like it.
These are auxiliary controls for the extension bridges.
Correct, but they're currently inoperable. The power conduit extending from the entrance to the main facility has been retracted, likely an attempt to contain the biomass spread. To restore power to the extension mechanisms, you will need to re-engage the power conduit to cross the gap.
Understood.
Oh,
I will
okay.
locate and re-engage the conduit.
Just keep in mind that you'll also be restoring power to the main research facility, including any dormant biomass within.
Re-establishing main generator connection. Be advised, Class 3 power fields will become active. Dormancy will be nullified.
Hey, Jack. I know you've got this, as always, but... by restoring power, we're undoing something that was put in place as a die-hard safety precaution.
We are certain this is the only place we're going to find the contained biomass.
Assuming these fragmented station logs are correct? Yes.
Well, that's reassuring.
Finalizing connection.
Connection established. Now receiving power readings throughout the facility.
There we
Jack,
go.
once you have the bridge fully extended, you should be able to access the facility proper. Though I suspect some areas may have additional security requirements.
Nora, the research director, would have done everything she could to contain the outbreak. But there is no
There.
containing it. This was an eventuality.
It's fortunate that your disagreement over priorities led you to be elsewhere when the outbreak occurred.
It's only fortunate if I'm right.
Let's go.
Dr. Harlan, if these power readings are accurate, our suspicions appear confirmed.
What's that now? What suspicions?
Educated guess, rather.
Which is different. How?
The ticks aren't the only form of biomass that have been evolving since your time.
Great, so what's this one do? Open doors?
Quite the opposite, in fact.
It's best if you see for yourselves.
Uh-oh. This sounds bad. Sweet. Respawn. Oh! Oh, there's a person. I don't like it. I already don't like it.
Biomass has taken hold here.
Given that it got this far, the rest of the facility will likely be much worse.
In the security control room, I found a casualty.
According to logs, Adler Reyes.
He must have been trying to keep the scanners running to prevent the biomass from leaving the facility.
But if someone found the scan,
They would have had to remain behind. Unfortunately, even the scanning room itself became contaminated.
you think that's how it spread to the rest of the station?
Most likely. With background contamination, the system would have had a difficult time producing accurate results. Inevitably, it failed.
Jack, you are now entering the facility's lobby. Biomass containment is located through the leftmost door.
Oh no, there's someone over there. Oh. Jesus. Oh, this is the repulsor.
This must be the evolved biomass form Dr. Harlan mentioned. It detects my presence, much like the other specimens encountered thus far.
We classify it as a reticulated B biomass organism, but most people just call them webs.
Aside from their namesake membrane, webs can also be recognized by an additional nodule. It should be quite distinct.
I take it you mean this abnormally bioluminescent growth?
Our best estimate is that it's some type of sensor for the web.
Get too close to the sensor, and the web expands.
Precisely. In any case, you'll need to bypass that web to reach the containment area.
Then I will search the rest of the facility for anything useful.
Let's see, what can I use?
Electrical systems here are clearly suffering from extreme damage. The lobby's directory is effectively useless.
Good thing we've got someone who knows their way around.
Always happy to be of assistance, Captain.
I was actually talking about Dr. Harlan. But thanks.
I found another casualty in the lobby.
Dr. Brianna Lemington.
Oh.
She was one of our pathologists.
There's some kind of added security here.
Dr. Everett Harlan reporting. Authorized laboratory access.
Voice-activated authorization. That's a smart security feature.
Thank you. And you're welcome.
There's a switch embedded in the wall here.
An emergency disconnect. Likely utilized as a means to curtail the outbreak.
They really did all they could to try and get the infestation under control.
They knew once it was out, they couldn't stop it. All they could do was buy time for everyone else on the station.
I don't like those noises. Okay, looks safe.
What sort of research were they doing here?
The director was convinced a cure was impractical. So she poured everything into containment technology.
Did she have any luck?
When I left, she
interesting.
had everyone working on miniaturizing the insulation cloaking from our containment unit. I'm not sure how far they got.
This transparent aluminum is reinforced.
Unfortunately, that's still not enough to withstand concerted biomass growth.
Yeah, but what about that? Alright, what can I report?
I assume these microscopes were used to observe the biomass.
I believe so, yes.
Development of the biomass containment technology required research at the macro, micro, and even nanoscopic scales.
With these microscopes, the researchers would have been able to observe the effect of their containment technology in real time, with a more manageable sample size, of course.
It must have been a heavy responsibility to work so closely with live biomass samples.
It was not without its risks.
So, would you say it was more or less risky than intentionally infecting your own material drive?
If you have any less precarious solutions, Captain, the more yes.
Biological specimens.
The director was always in here. Dissecting, testing. She was tireless.
She must have had a cast iron stomach.
One of the toughest people I have ever known.
Okay, well, let's see.
Is this a control interface?
That's right, for the robotic arm in the adjoining chamber. Use the holographic controls to adjust each part of the articulation.
Is this some type of emitter?
It looks to be a functional prototype. I knew they were close, but I didn't know they had moved into practical testing. The basic concept was to surround the biomass with a cloak of electromagnetic insulation, preventing energy from reaching it.
Kind of like using a blanket to smother a flame.
Indeed. The idea was to build
Neat.
these cloak emitters as a reactive defense against the biomass, to contain it.
That could have a wide array of tactical applications.
It's a store-led based, not a solution. I wish she could have seen that.
Such versatile technology.
And it still wasn't enough.
Oh.
Biomass at the exit neutralized.
It's possible I failed to foresee some of the cloak emitters' eventual implications.
Sounds like your research director was on the right track.
Nora. She never gave up. I could hardly ever pull her away from her work.
Dr. Harlan, if I may interject, the local data I'm seeing implies that the director's efforts to develop cloak emitters proceeded beyond prototyping.
Oh crap!
Versions were installed in some of the
Wasn't close enough.
tech shells. Several of these shells appear to have been left behind in the medical wing.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
I believe it may be possible to fit Jack with a similar device, a portable cloak emitter.
What is involved?
I'll need you to retrieve the data from one of the medtech shells here. With that, I should be able to reconstruct the
Oh.
portable cloak emitter's design.
Jesus
Copy
Christ!
that. I'll see what I can find.
That scared me. Ah. Darn web.
Jack, this is the primary examination room, where prototype cures were administered to volunteers. Dr. Harlan, you'll be pleased to know that your old workplace remains unaffected by the outbreak. Dr. Harlan?
This log indicates a multitude of visitors. Some were children. These medical beds were used for diagnostic scans?
And to monitor potential treatments. Many of my peers focused on post-diagnosis options.
What sort of options?
Pain management, transmission reduction. Though most patients with terminal diagnosis volunteered for cure research.
Wait. There are diagnoses that aren't terminal.
If the infection is limited to the extremities and has not yet penetrated the epidermis, amputation has a roughly 40% success rate.
In emergencies, the integrated cutter, equipped by several models of the X3 shell, including Jack's, can...
No! That's enough. Forget I asked.
I mentioned
Alrighty.
the medical lab.
Doctor, perhaps you should step away for a moment. I'm sure there's still plenty of alpha data to test before we're ready to initiate the experiment.
She's here, isn't she? Juno?
More than likely. Yes.
Who? The research director?
This device indeed appears to be a portable cloak emitter. Juno, I believe your conjecture was correct.
Naturally. If you scan the shell's data port, I believe I can create a similar device for you. Ah, my suspicions were correct. They did develop a portable version of the cloak emitter. Unfortunately, the data contained in this shell is only partial. Jack, to complete the reconstruction, I'll need you to scan additional units.
Understood. Who was this person?
Dr. Franklin Teller, a fellow geneticist.
You knew him.
I knew all of them.
Dr. Adriana Lay.
She was too young for this.
I've recovered her research. It also seems she received a message from Dr. McKenna with all of his access codes attached. Would you like me to play it?
Affirmative.
Beginning playback.
Hey, Adriana. I know I can count on you to look out for everyone. So I'm sending you my access codes. They should get you into my stuff and a few engineering areas. My spare rations, my playing cards, whatever else. If any of it helps even a little bit, please, take it. Share it. I figure it might make things a little more comfortable for you all.
Trem, prepare for departure.
Shit, I gotta go. I have no idea how to end this. Good luck? No. Goodbye.
End of message. If any of Dr. McKenna's codes prove useful, I'll add them to your ARM computer.
Thank you. A keypad for the duct. Juno, could one of Dr. McKenna's codes work here?
I believe so, yes. Try 2525.
Access to the utility ducts granted. Moving through the vents now.
Tell me something, Doctor. How long does it take
What?
for the infection to run its course?
Once it becomes fully active, usually somewhere between 3 to 5 days. But most victims opt to expedite their end.
Right.
Oh,
So,
bot over here.
how does the infection work? Once it becomes active? I mean,
The biomass drains energy directly from your cells. Your body is in the throes of widespread cellular decay. Major organ failure follows 12 to 18 hours later.
Excellent. That shell contained more data regarding the portable emitters. We'll need a good bit more to reconstruct the design, though.
Ah! Don't scare me like that. Oh, poor robot.
Scan complete. We still need more data. Interesting. Doctor, this shell has a log conversation regarding the director and your research.
Go ahead, Juno.
Beginning playback.
Alright, Unit 5, back to the lab. The director wants to run those simulations again.
Query. For what purpose?
I'm not sure. Dr. Harlan's ideas were intriguing, to say the least, but, well, I suppose the director knows best. Go ahead and prep the simulations. I'll join you shortly.
Acknowledge, Dr. McKenna.
Huh. So the director eventually explored your theories after all?
I didn't expect she would continue it after I left. But without the biomasses-based genetic material, it would have been as much of a dead end as containment. I just couldn't convince her.
My reconstruction of the personal cloak emitter is nearly complete. One more scan should be sufficient. Data collection complete. Finalizing tool reconstruction. Reconstruction complete. Please visit a fabricator to install your new cloak emitter.
We have another casualty.
Dr. Jordan Decci. She specialized in pain management therapy for the infected.
A further casualty of the biomass.
It appears he was trying to assist right up until the end.
Okay.
Cloak emitter installation successful. This portable version is practically identical to the mounted prototypes you've been using thus far.
Excellent. A tool like this will make it much easier to get around.
Just keep in mind that its effective range had to be reduced to achieve portability. If you move too far away from your target, the tool will deactivate.
Ah, noted.
Ooh, I can disable small spots too. Sweet. Alright, anything else I need here?
This data includes a message from the research director, addressed to you, Dr. Harlan.
Play it, Juno.
Perhaps I could store it for a later time once we...
Juno.
Of course, Doctor. Beginning playback.
Everett? I don't know if you'll ever find this, but I wanted to get it out before... Well, before things get any worse. If you do manage to find this, well, then you know what's happened. I suppose the good news is we got the emitter deck to work. Which, if I'm not mistaken, means you owe me dinner. Rabbit, listen to me. I know you. I know you're going to try to put all this on yourself somehow. Make yourself believe there was something you'd have done.
Lana Ray, Ice Wizards,
But it's not true.
Syndica, how you guys doing? Sorry.
Don't go trying to carry that. We all knew developing a cure was virtually impossible. No one here was waiting to be saved.
There's another voice-activated control panel here.
Additional security for the biomass containment area. It requires the voice authorization of a high-ranking official.
Well, we've got Dr. Harlan, right? Let's get that door open.
My authorization won't be enough. We'll need someone with higher clearance.
The research director.
After a lockdown, she'd be the only one able to enter containment.
With a large enough sample of the director's vocal modulations, I should be able to synthesize her voice.
A voice sample?
We already had that.
No, even if we could find one, I'm not sure it's fair to...
Pull up my personal archive, Juno. There's just one file there.
You're sure, Dr. Harlan?
Go on.
Beginning playback.
I'm not going to be able to change your mind, am I?
I just... You know I wouldn't leave unless I had...
It's okay. A kill would change everything. You're not wrong about that. I just wish...
I know, Nora. Me too. I won't be long.
That should be enough for me to synthesize the director's voice.
Do it.
This is Dr. Nora Parek. Authorized containment access.
Juno,
Yes, Doctor?
never do that again.
Yeah, that was a little creepy.
I'm entering what appears to be an excavation site.
You are correct. It's the only remaining route to the biomass containment area. We should be able to find our sample there.
Acknowledged.
Say there should be a drone around here.
Containment area where the outbreak started.
Most likely. I'll continue parsing logs to see if I can determine what happened.
I'm sure that's not necessary.
Do it. I need to know.
Of course, Doctor.
Were these excavators being used to expand the containment area?
I can't be certain, but given the advancements made in insulation cloaking technology, I imagine they would have been trying to ramp up testing or possibly even production. Undoubtedly, that would have required taking in more samples than the facility was currently equipped to contain.
I assume these barriers were set up while construction was taking place.
Correct.
Oh,
Data files show a series of tunnels extending beyond the barriers.
The scale of these excavations seems to far exceed our mining efforts back on the Kronos 2.
Absolutely. Though, this excavation was done to leverage the asteroid's bulk as a protective layer against the biomass. Any valuable mineral extractions were merely a byproduct.
Does most of humanity have to live like this? Underground, so to speak?
Were these excavators being used to expand the containment area?
I can't be certain, but given the advancements made in insulation cloaking technology, I imagine they would have been trying to ramp up testing
no.
or possibly
Get away.
even production. Undoubtedly, that would have required taking in more samples than the facility was currently equipped to contain.
Could that be what caused the accident?
Possibly.
Ah.
If the research team was indeed rushing to complete work on the cloaking tech, then it is possible certain containment systems were overtaxed.
I should have been here.
But then you'd be dead too. And so would we.
Cloaking successful.
All this advanced tech, and the biomass still broke containment.
Yes. This is why eliminating the biomass is our only option.
Okay, let's see. I was gonna say that was a little tricky. Oh, come on, it's not. So was this useless? Okay, guess not. I'm just gonna scoot past this little guy. Haha! It worked. Oh. Dang it. Now I gotta go back and get it. I left it behind, think I didn't need it. Okay, time to go get it. Oh, there we go. Ah, go on. Let's go. And scoot that way. Hide. There we go.
I'm approaching the large opening. There is a conveyance system installed overhead.
That is how newly arriving containment units were transferred into main storage. Local telemetry indicates a significant biomass presence throughout the area. Containment certainly failed here.
Acknowledged. I will proceed with caution.
Oh. No, dude, I didn't get to scan your info. I can't help you over there, buddy.
This container must have lost power at some point. Unfortunately, it appears its contents have escaped. How certain are we that a functional container is still here?
Based on the logs, one stock container arrived shortly before the lockdown.
Hopefully, it remains intact.
Come here. Ah, crap, come here. I was gonna say, this thing's tricky trying to grab something. Okay. Alright, so I do have that open. I'm gonna try to scan it as soon as it comes online. Ooh, there we go. Okay. Come on. Where up? Ah, come here. Ah. Nope, come here. There we go. Now I got your info.
Data here. Much of it will be useful for our work on developing a cure.
Okay.
Good find.
Get untangled.
Data retrieved. I believe the synthetic using the shell was indeed present
Crap.
for the initial containment failure. I'll play the log.
Director Park,
Yes, unit.
a Category 4 containment breach is in progress.
What?
Origin uncertain. Multiple ticks are unrestrained in the conveyance shaft. I am beginning to lock down.
Have any personnel had direct contact?
Several. I sacrificed my shell to prevent immediate fatality. I'm in the process of reprinting with a portable plug emitter.
All right, I'll triage the infected in the med labs.
Your SIG telemetry indicates you are not wearing a helmet. To avoid dying,
I'll find one. Just prioritize personal evacuation, then lock down the entire containment area, especially main storage.
acknowledged, Doctor.
There is an electrical transformer here. Its power field appears to be keeping all nearby biomass active.
Any chance there's a bypass fit, Doctor?
Effectively? No. That subsystem has been consumed by the biomass.
Lovely.
Ah! Crap. It was a close one. What can I do with this one?
I cloaked one of the sensors on this web, but it's not having the same effect as before.
One of? How many sensors does this web have?
At least 4.
Then this web must have been cultivating here for some time. It's possible this is where the outbreak originated.
Unfortunately, Jack, your cloak emitter cannot sustain enough insulation fields to blind all of those sensors.
There must be something else we can do.
Agreed. I'll find a way to retract the web.
Retract the web. How? Containment cells? Or the rail? Can I move it? Nope. Don't have enough power to do that. Wait a second. Can I plug the transformer?
If you can't cloak the sensors, cloak the power source.
Nicely done, Jack.
That was unexpected. I'll need just a moment to further analyze the reconstructed targeting software. I see it now. The cloak emitter should be able to target power sources as well, as long as they're sufficiently compact.
Copy that. Proceeding through the web now. Is this the cargo bay?
Yes, and our containment unit is indeed intact.
I'm still prepping the intake system. Should be ready by the time the container gets here, though. I'm assuming we have what we need.
Readings show a full complement of takes within. So, yes, Captain, we have what we need. send over a cargo drone as soon as Jack opens the bay door.
Move you guys away from there.
Collecting these ticks could not have been easy.
The X3 synthetics did lose many shares in the process, but they performed their function.
Are these the controls for the bay door?
Correct.
Exterior bay door opened.
Copy that. We'll send over a cargo drone to retrieve the container. Shouldn't take too long.
Jack, we'll just need you to manually release the container once the drone has secured it.
Acknowledged. I'll head to the cargo bay. From this side, the web sensor is inaccessible. I won't be leaving that way.
Yes, that is unfortunate. However, schematics do show a maintenance duct nearby.
I'll see what I can find.
Alright, let's see. Ow. What is that? Like a wrench? Ooh. Ah. Can't scan his port. Ooh.
Careful, Jack. There's another form of the biomass nearby. You may have seen them before. Elongated structures with an affinity for spore dispersion.
Indeed, cysts. Their rapid regrowth, even after bursting, makes them particularly dangerous. This specimen appears somewhat different than the others I've previously encountered. It has tentacles.
Yes, I believe that particular adaptation manifested somewhat recently. The biomass has been evolving continuously since your time. Regardless, you'll want to keep your distance, if possible. This is the administration area. Once past the next hallway, Jack, you'll be back in the cargo bay.
Oh, that's the dead battery. Okay, let's see. Oh, I can recharge the battery over here. Okay, let's get back over there. Thank you. There we go. Alright, I'm going to take this moment while the battery is charging. I'm going to take a short break and I'll be right back. Sorry about the wait there. One moment while we switch back. There we go. Back into it. There we go. Oh, look at that. The battery's ready. Alright, let's go. Ooh. Ah!
This web must be sensing the battery's power field.
Ah! Let go! No! No! No!
Awaken all forms of
Ah.
darkness from dormancy.
Damn! Scared the living hell out of me. Jesus crow. Oh, that was a hell of a scare just as I get back. Okay, do that. Oh, I already depleted the battery. Okay. Grab that. Nope. Crap.
The X3 shell is somewhat different from my original specification.
Does that present an issue?
Only in so much as I do not yet fully identify the physical form as my own. Is that unusual?
Uncertain. I know that for many humans, conceptualizing their identity can be a challenge. However, I do not possess any record of a synthetic experiencing that particular difficulty. You may be the first.
Nicely done. Starting to get a feel for that cloak emitter, are we, Jack?
I'm still adapting to its functionality. The device's wide range of uses requires additional consideration.
It's brought us that much closer to a cure. For that alone, we should be grateful.
It scared the living hell out of me when I did that.
In this corridor, I found another casualty of the biomass. 2, in fact.
Dr. Stephen Garrick and Senior Technician Avery Park.
Seems they were left behind in the evacuation.
I doubt that. If they're here, it's probably because they chose to stay.
What do you mean?
I knew these people. Every researcher here understood what an outbreak would mean. That they would have to do whatever was necessary to try and protect the rest of the station.
Jack, the cargo drone will be unable to retrieve the container until it's released from the loading pallet. There should be a release mechanism near the container.
Oh, come on, I gotta report first.
A way to release the container?
That is correct. That access panel may be used to free the container from the pallet below.
Container released.
Confirmed. Container primed for departure.
It will need to be hooked up once it gets here, Jack. You had to give it the final touch.
I believe I would, yes. I doubt the procedure will take long.
Okay then.
Let's go!
See you in a few.
Container departing in T minus 10 seconds. Jack, if you're planning on accompanying the container, now would be a good time to take hold. Cargo drone is departing in 3.
I gotcha. Let's go.
1.
Tally ho!
Thrusters.
Bye bye, ticks.
Jack, I hope you don't mind. I've switched us to another comms channel for a moment. I have a somewhat personal question to ask you. Do you mind?
Go ahead, Juno.
Captain Rhodes, she considers you a friend, yes?
I think so, yes.
You think so?
Human social cues are often difficult to interpret, but I am nevertheless confident that the captain and I are indeed friends.
Then, did you reach that conclusion?
Because she has said so.
Ah, that certainly simplifies things. In your case,
How do you mean?
Easy.
I'm trying to discern if Dr. Harlan considers me a friend. Biometrics indicate he is still experiencing some distress, but I'm unsure if it would be appropriate for me to console him. What is your assessment?
I find Dr. Harlan difficult to fully understand. His personality differs significantly from that of Captain Rhodes. He may express his regard in a different fashion.
He does refer to me by name, a behavior he does not extend to you. Perhaps that is a positive indicator.
Perhaps.
Thank you, Jack. I appreciate your insight. Wait, did we just become friends?
Yes.
I suppose we did.
Did we just become friends? Yes, I think we did. And yeet. I took the express over.
The dock, beginning descent.
Hey there, Jack.
Oh, apparently I moved too quick.
To see you're still in one piece.
Oof.
Same deal as before. Hook up controls near the cargo clamps.
I was gonna say, it took that a little bit hot there. It smashed against the ground. Wait, where is it? Oh my gosh, was I supposed to go to a different spot? Oh crap. My bad, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. I was like, wait a second, did I just lose a whole craft?
Biomass container in place and ready to be secured.
Go ahead, Jack.
These containment units are quite effective. The ticks appear well pacified. How will we safely transfer them into the ship?
We've modified an intake unit to flush them directly into the engineering bay. It should be much safer than attempting a controlled breakout.
Slight deviation from the original accident, but for the added safety.
Accident.
Worth it.
Biomass containers secured in place.
Copy that. System check, Juno. How did we do?
Systems nominal. Both the fuel cell and biomass container are secure and fully engaged with the ship's intake systems.
Well, Jack, looks like things are wrapped up here. No need for you to rush back, though. I'm not exactly eager to send you hurtling through time again.
Of course.
Also, Dr. Harlan could always use more data for his research, if you'd like to continue exploring the station.
Copy that, Juno.
What exactly are those?
I noticed these when we first arrived in this timeline. Some kind of massive processing structure. It's capturing Saturn's atmosphere.
Correct. They're known as autonomous atmospheric harvesters. They process hydrogen and helium from Saturn, inject it into containers, and then jettison those containers outward for retrieval. The minimal contact reduces the risk of biomass infection.
Oh, memory bank. Loading, loading, loading.
It's like the Kronos 5000 or something.
Sorry?
I mean, it might be what our job would have turned into.
Oh, memories again.
It's a bit more impressive than extracting helium from ice cubes like we did, but it's basically where our work
Hello, Jack. If you're
Hello
looking
there.
for the captain, she's in the workshop with Dr. Harlan.
What is that? A motion detection system?
One of several independent sensors rigged to trigger detonation.
Jack, there you are.
Good.
Hello there.
He's finally here.
Dr. Harlan and I were just giving this torpedo the once-over while we waited.
Learn anything useful?
Yeah, it's a death trap.
Not that that's anything he has to worry about. Now then, are we ready to begin?
Affirmative. I'm ready. That is assuming all the details have been sorted out.
Yes, everything's in order. Let's proceed.
Hold on. There's still some particulars that need ironing out here.
There are always going to be unknowns. That's just something we have to accept.
Let's assume this works. Let's assume we open another anomaly and send Jack's consciousness back to the past. What exactly is he supposed to do when he gets there?
Locate an undetonated biomass torpedo and sample the genetic material inside.
So use the data to create a cure. Right. I get that. I'm saying, how is he supposed to do it? It's not like he can physically bring the sample back with him. And if he's in a combat shell, it won't be fitted to do a medical scan. How will he collect the data?
He'll have to improvise, of course.
Apollo.
Greetings, Captain Rhodes.
Whee!
I have analyzed the situation and would like to propose a solution.
It's good to see you too.
We can exchange more formal pleasantries later if you like, Captain. For now, if you would please proceed to the holotable.
Oh! Oh!
Alright, Apollo, let's hear it. How does Jack get the data from the biomass incubator?
According to Jack's memory logs, the last anomaly caused his protocols to transfer into a Series 10 combat shell. This unit was equipped with a threat scanner, which could be reconfigured to gather data on biomass specimens. Once we've successfully located a biomass torpedo, I will repurpose his threat scanner to collect data from the incubator inside. The collected data should then easily transfer back with us.
It will be good to have your expertise.
You're going too?
A copy of my protocols has already been integrated into Jack's architecture. I see no reason why we would not be transported together.
And how do we know you'll be transported to the right time and place?
If we create an anomaly precisely the same way as we did before, isn't it reasonable to assume we would get a similar result?
That would be my assessment as well, based on our previous experience. So long as we closely replicate the conditions that caused your previous jump through time, I expect the result to be nearly identical.
In other words, they should arrive at roughly the same time and place where your android first saw the torpedo.
And once they've got the data, how do we get them back?
Apollo, any theories?
According to the FTL's output logs.
Excuse me. You're reading our logs?
Well, they are not encrypted. As I was saying, according to the logs, the moment
I have
the FTL
AIs fighting.
engaged, Jack's consciousness returned automatically.
That's correct. Dr. Harlan and I believe Jack's time in the past is directly correlated to the state of the FTL drive. In essence, Jack, the longer the drive here remains active, the more time you'll have in the past.
We'll keep it running for as long as we can. Give you as much time as possible.
The Astrea's fuel cell is exceedingly efficient and will most likely last long enough for us to locate an incubator and collect the relevant data.
Once we disengage the FTL, you should be returned to the present time.
Should? You're gonna have to do a bit better than should.
This is time travel we're talking about. All we have are best guesses.
Liv, there's far too much that we do not know about how these anomalies work, but your safety is my primary concern, and this is your best chance of survival.
This is the only way we get a cure. The only way we survive. You, me, everyone.
All right, Jack. You've clearly made up your mind already. I just wish we had a better plan than shoving you in an anomaly and hoping it all works out.
Juno, prep the engineering bay.
Right away, Doctor.
Jack,
It's all right, Liv. I've done this before.
once
That's not
by
reassuring.
accident.
I'm sure I'll be fine.
I don't know if you're being naive or just really optimistic.
Juno and the drones.
Just make sure you come back safely, all right?
Is that an order, Captain?
Well, technically we're both captains, remember? But yes, that is an order.
Acknowledged, Captain. I will do everything in my power to return safely.
The engineering bay is prepped and ready.
Good. seal all the ship's bulkheads. We cannot risk any accidental contamination once we...
Of course, Doctor. Jack, please enter the control room and the engineering bay below. The control room is right through this door. Sealing the engineering bay now. Engineering bay sealed.
Dr. Harlan? Any inspiring words?
No.
We all believe in you, Jack. To varying degrees.
Your confidence is appreciated.
Can we get started?
Right away, Doctor. Jack, please adjust the dials to connect the fuel cell conduits to the drive core. First conduit connection complete. Both conduit connections are complete.
Good. We are ready to release the ticks into the engineering bay. Once you engage the FTL, they should begin feeding on it and create an anomaly, just like before.
Jack, are you ready for us to release the ticks?
Ready to proceed, Juno.
Acknowledged.
Were the lights supposed to turn off like that?
Don't worry. We are just rerouting power so the ticks can only feed on the FTL drive. Stand by. Releasing tick specimens.
Well, I certainly seem to have their attention.
Once you engage the drive, they should be drawn to the FTL. All systems are primed. Awaiting ignition.
Engage the FTL. Now.
FTL drive engaged.
There they go. There we go.
Biomass FTL interaction confirmed. The ticks are affecting the drive stability.
Here goes. Stay safe, Jack.
Of course, Liv.
Anomalous readings detected.
Take care of them, Apollo.
I shall do my utmost, Captain.
Anomalous readings cited.
Good luck, Jack.
There we go. Delta Combat Response.
Combat in Delta Squad. Delta 6 requesting assistance. Is severely irradiated. Shell integrity currently below 60%. Secured shelter, wreckage of the Kronos 2. If you're receiving this transmission, please respond.
We have arrived. What is your status?
The shell appears to be in one piece.
Good. We must keep in mind, this combat shell was not designed for biomass engagement. Any contact with the infestation will render us immediately inoperable.
Where should we begin searching?
Undetermined. I'll scan the area for identifiable landmarks.
There was a transmission from a Delta member as we arrived. Did you hear it as well?
Affirmative. They are continuing to broadcast. I'll patch them in now.
Kronos 2 wreckage. Currently assessing biotorpedoes in the area.
I recognize this unit as Delta 6.
Interesting. It appears this Delta 6 has already located several torpedoes. Reaching their location may be our most expedient option.
Is it possible to make contact from here?
Negative. There's too much interference in the signal. We should first clear ourselves of this debris, then see if the signal strengthens. However,
Come on,
we should check
let me
your
out.
equipment before we go. I will do my best to keep this expedient. Let's begin with your shielding. This unit has been optimized for combat scenarios and is capable of regenerating its shield without the use of external chargers. However, a significant delay is required for the process to begin after sustaining damage. You may need to exercise patience.
Understood.
Next is your armament. This unit is equipped with an M19C repeater, designation Pulsar. Jack, are you comfortable wielding a firearm?
I've run simulations before.
Excellent. Then familiarizing yourself with this particular model should be trivial. I shall just prepare a brief additional simulation. Your armament is now unlocked. Open fire on the targets. Targets eliminated. Unfortunately, should we encounter ticks, it is unlikely they will be quite so docile. These targets should provide a closer approximation to tick activity. As such, successfully hitting a given target may require you to aim ahead of its movement. The ionized bolts of your armament are surprisingly slow, though I suppose that is acceptable for weaponry of this century.
Oh, it overheats. Okay.
Jack, fire continuously at this last target. Make no consideration for accuracy. Overheat detected. Notably, each firing of your weapon causes a portion of energy to be retained as excess heat. Without sufficient time to cool, this buildup will exceed maximum operating temperature, leading to an emergency venting cycle.
Can this be averted?
Yes. Firing in controlled bursts is the most efficient way to do so. However, you may use the button on your wrist to manually vent any heat within the unit. But this choice should be made tactically. The weapon will remain inoperable while venting.
Understood.
Excellent. Lastly, we need to inspect your threat scanner.
It's what we'll use to scan the biomass's base genetic material, correct?
Indeed. However, until we locate a viable torpedo, we shall instead rely on its original functionality, identifying nearby hostiles. To that end, I have optimized the device's settings to our mission parameters. Once activated, it will emit a single sensor pulse, followed by a brief recharge cycle. Try doing so now.
How?
Activate your threat scanner. It is mounted opposite of your pulsar.
Yeah, I see it. I mean, the button is right there, for the hollow button. Is there something else I need to do for it? Can I put this away? Oh boy. There's the button. I think I might be glitched. That's not cool. Come on, finger. I know you work. Is it a slide? Oh, goodness. Can I put away the gun? The gun's getting in the way. It won't recognize. Oh! Never mind.
Hostile identified. A tick just beyond the bulkhead. It appears dormant for the time being.
Can it be avoided?
Given the surrounding topography, no. Though your strategy is sound. Armament from this era won't be particularly effective against any form of the biomass.
Very well. I am ready to engage. Can you unlock the harness?
Done. Now that you are free, I must advise, operating your firearm will produce substantial recoil. I strongly encourage you to brace by maintaining a firm grip on nearby surfaces.
Acknowledged.
Hey, it works.
Threat neutralized. Well done, Jack. Warning. I am detecting extreme levels of radiation in the surrounding area.
As 6's transmission indicated, that would also explain the comms interference.
Indeed.
Oh.
Though I should also note, the ionizing radiation correlates with visual spectrum emissions. Avoiding the latter will protect you from the former.
Stay out of the light to avoid radiation. Copy that. A Series 10 Echo Unit shell from Delta Squad.
As anticipated, the biomass has been difficult to combat. I suspect we will find more losses as we continue.
Another shell from Delta Squad.
Damage is severe. An emergency reboot would have been required. The wreckage ahead contains a shielded view pane. It should offer full protection while allowing us to identify the source of radiation. Shields at 95%.
The Estrella appears to be the source of radiation.
The main reactor. I estimate it will continue burning for several months. We should keep moving.
Oh.
That power cell is temporarily distracting the tick. Though, a direct hit to the cell from your pulsar would likely cause it to detonate. That sudden dispersion of energy was quite effective. I advise adding that technique to your tactical database, or the civilian equivalent thereof. The debris field ahead offers far less protection from radiation. Extra precaution will be needed to stay out of the light. Furthermore, I am detecting a significant biomass presence. I strongly advise frequent use of the threat scanner to plan an optimal route.
Acknowledged.
Let's see, can I get a long-range shot on this?
Warning to any receiving. Hostile area designated biotorpedoes. Devices will seek vessels. Proximity detonation is triggerable either by personnel. Recommend vessels maintain minimum safe distance of 100 kilometers. Personnel should evac immediately.
It would appear Delta Squad has become familiar with the operation of the torpedoes. Perhaps that is what caused their vessel to crash.
Given that they began investigating the torpedoes in close proximity, that result is highly probable.
Oh, hello there.
An energy pulse from the anomaly.
Is it still stable?
I believe so, at least relatively. Nonetheless, we should remain focused on finding a torpedo if we hope to do so before the anomaly collapses.
Yet another Delta. It seems the battle here did not go well.
Agreed. The biomass was already incredibly dangerous in my time. As we know, this century will have it far worse.
Operational status report. Delta Squad operating at a minimum capability. Activation pods are offline. Delta Actual and Delta 9. KIA. Delta 13. MIA. Delta 6. Active, but unable to perform reboot protocols. If you are receiving, Forward to Titan Command with authentication code. Gamma 7 reached.
Apollo, should we respond?
Negative. The interference is still too great. Nonetheless, I will continue monitoring the situation. Shields at 95%.
An activation pod.
It is as Delta 6's transmission indicated. They are unable to reboot. Shields at 95%.
Another pulse.
Magnitude minimum. I believe we still have ample time before our forcible return to the future. Shields at 95%. Shields at 95%.
Another pod.
I will ensure that a similar tactical error is not made with our pod.
How?
I am an advanced tactical AI. Between situational analysis, predictive heuristics, and extensive experience, I am confident my results will exceed those of my ancestors. Shields at 95%. There is a faint distress signal emitting from a cavern just ahead. Its frequency is similar to Delta 6's earlier transmission. We should investigate.
Okay, there's just one over there. Oh boy.
Frequency similarities between the distress signal and Delta 6 cannot be a coincidence. We need to investigate. Distress signal located.
It's a CubeSat, one of Delta Squad's recon units.
It appears to be in need of our support.
Delta Unit, I'm picking up your signal in proximity to Reconnaissance Satellite 3. Is that you, 13? Or was it Jack?
Jack, we have insufficient time for complications. We should keep our relation to this combat unit as simple as possible. I will conduct all communication with you privately, and I must insist we maintain the persona of Delta 13.
Very well, Apollo. Delta 6, this is Delta 13. I read you. Recon Sat 3 was engaged by multiple hostiles. I moved to assist.
I see. 13. Your return is peculiar. But to it appears Recon Sat-3 would not have survived its perimeter sweep without your aid. Though, what is your current status? Is your pod operational?
Affirmative. All systems nominal. Valley in your position?
Acknowledged. Recon Sat-3 will lead the way. Destination, Kronos 2 Bridge. I will require your assistance in assessing the bio-torpedoes.
Acknowledged. We are en route. 13 out.
Well done, Jack. Your replication of tactical speech was convincing.
My experiences with Liv have taught me many things. It would appear that improvisation is one of the most useful.
Agreed.
Recon Sat-3, I can see your signal light from here. Proceed with caution. There are hostiles. Interference from the anomaly. Delta 13, status. Are you experiencing malfunctions again?
Negative. No malfunctions detected.
Acknowledged. Proceed with caution. There are hostiles in the area.
Understood.
Threat resolved.
Recon Sat-3 is detecting a nearby threat. Advise clearing the area before you proceed.
Trying.
Additional threats detected. I recommend enacting the sweep and clear protocol.
All clear. We should keep moving. Shields at 95%. Shields at 30%.
Oh. Don't tell me I have to shoot them again. There we go. There's that. I think I have to go through here to get without dying of shields. And go. Okay.
It appears you've arrived here intact. Well done.
We need to locate the torpedoes as soon as possible. Thank you, Delta 6. We should continue our mission immediately.
Agreed. Primary objective. Threat assessment of the hostile devices. Secondary objective. Establish a warning beacon for passing vessels.
You are unable to reboot, correct? Perhaps I should take the primary objective.
Agreed. A further encounter with the bio-torpedoes would likely result in operational failure on my part. However, I can still provide some assistance. By leveraging the Kronos 2 systems, I have already performed a sensor sweep. In doing so, I have identified a large number of active torpedoes in a nearby clearing. The results are available here on the holotable if you wish to review them.
Can you push the objective to my ARM computer?
Affirmative. I've also included the clearing's coordinates as the associated location marker, should you need it.
Acknowledged.
You may proceed through here to reach the clearing. I will begin efforts toward our secondary objective shortly. Report back here once you have completed your assignment.
Copy that.
Interference from the Astraeus radiation will continue beyond the arrival of the Ithaca. It is unlikely Delta 6's secondary objective will be accomplished.
We are fortunate to have their assistance, though. Locating torpedoes has saved us considerable time.
Agreed. The alignment of our objectives is fortunate indeed.
Apollo, if Delta Squad was not able to safely perform their assessment, how will we collect our data on the base genetic material?
Unlike the rest of Delta Squad, you have my assistance. I will bring the entirety of my electronic countermeasure suite to bear against the torpedoes. I am certain I will be able to disable their proximity detonators.
And if there are additional defensive systems?
A possibility I have already considered. We'll be ready. Furthermore, I shall reconfigure your threat scanner for inspecting the torpedo incubators. Stand by. Reconfiguration complete. Your threat scanner should now be able to generate a detailed mapping of the biomass's base genetic material, though the range of the instrument has been somewhat diminished.
I suppose that's a trade-off we'll have to accept.
Indeed. The anomaly is becoming more active. We need to hurry. Dr. Harlan and the captain may be close to having expended the fuel cell.
A biomass torpedo, already detonated. Is there any value in scanning it?
Negative. Dr. Harlan has already gleaned as much as possible from such specimens.
There's one over there. And there.
Shields at 95%.
Oh. Come on. Ah, no, come back. Okay. I'm looking for ticks, but I don't see them. How do I get over there safely?
Apollo, I've located a torpedo. Is this close enough to scan?
Unfortunately, no. We need to reach the forward end of the torpedo, where the base genetic material is housed.
You're certain that we're masked from the detection?
Yes, my countermeasures are holding. It should be safe to approach.
Apollo, is this range sufficient for a scan?
It should suffice. However, the torpedo shielding is denser than anticipated. For a successful scan, it appears we'll need to expose the base genetic material. I believe that by interfacing with the torpedo, I should be able to reveal the incubator at the forward end.
Do you need me to do anything?
Possibly. I cannot be certain until I have actually accessed the torpedo's systems. I advise maintaining full tactical readiness.
Oh, let's get up here then.
Understood.
I will begin once you designate the incubator for scanning. Jack, we need to find an incubator for scanning.
This incubator appears viable.
Are you ready to begin?
Oh.
Yes.
Interfacing now. This is more complex than I had.
Apollo?
The torpedo's defense protocols have activated. It has locked the incubator and is attempting to power its main drive. It's beginning launch procedures. I will stall for as long as possible.
Then we need an alternative.
Agreed. I'm opening access hatches on the front end. The manual overrides within them should trigger a maintenance mode.
Override activated.
Perfect. Take care of the one on the opposite side as well.
Second override activated.
Well done, though the launch procedure is still online. Perhaps we can overheat the main drive. Enabling maintenance mode gave us access to the torpedo's cooling cells. Remove them. The cells are locked behind protective housing. Lowering.
Cells removed.
Perfect. You will need to remove the second array on the opposite side as well.
Grab and throw, grab and throw, grab and throw.
Cells removed.
The drive is beginning to overheat, but the launch sequence is still active. Jack, the launch procedure is nearing completion.
Main drive destroyed.
Launch sequence averted. That finally did it. I am able to unlock the incubator now. And we should do so quickly. It appears we may not have much time.
Incubator exposed.
Excellent. We should begin the scan immediately. Scanning.
Apollo?
Imprinting now. It should not be much longer. Just a moment longer.
Apollo!
Data secured. Well done, Jack.
13. I've connected conduits from the Kronos activation bay to a mobile reactor. I believe I can repurpose some of the bay's components to act as a warning beacon. With sufficient power, it may be able to overcome the interference.
Acknowledged. I am still proceeding with the threat assessment.
Copy that. Delta 6 out.
Apollo, is it possible Delta 6 could sufficiently power the beacon to warn the Ithaca?
Unlikely. All evidence from both the present and future indicates they will not. I see no reason to dissuade them, though. We should focus on our mission.
Agreed. I suppose now we should simply wait for the anomaly's collapse.
I believe so, yes.
Oh, there it goes.
It does appear to be fairly unstable at this point. I estimate no more than a few minutes remain.
Very well.
Perhaps there is a way we could signal the Doctor and Captain Rose that we are ready to return.
Were that viable, I would have expected them, or you, to have already suggested a means for doing so.
Certainly. However, I was attempting to prompt one of your creative solutions.
I see. The anomaly is going to close any moment now.
Preparing for return displacement. Jump imminent.
What?
Jack, are you here as well?
Surprisingly, yes.
Surprising indeed. Our plan was developed under the requirement that the anomaly's collapse would return us to 2537. Had this outcome appeared likely, I would have developed a contingency.
Do we have an alternative means of returning?
Given the limited resources available to us here, no, not that I am aware of.
13. Now that the anomaly has subsided, I have run an additional test of the beacon. Radiological interference is still too significant. Nonetheless, the beacon is prepared to transmit continuously once the radiation subsides. As such, I am now shifting my priority back to the primary objective. What is the status of your assessment?
Assessment complete.
Well done. Unfortunately, our lack of extended range communication leaves us unable to deliver your work to Titan Command. Therefore, we must enact the Message in a Bottle protocol. Report back to me in the activation bay so that we may discuss the details.
Jack, assisting Delta 6 may be our best solution at this point. Both of Delta Squad's objectives are still viable, though unlikely. The radiation may subside in time for the beacon to warn the Ithaca.
And if it doesn't?
Then we follow protocol.
The Message in a Bottle protocol.
Yes, it is a standardized Atlas procedure. In short, Delta 6 intends to store our assessment in a secure device until it can be recovered.
That information would disrupt the events of this timeline.
That is the intention, to prepare humanity to defeat the biomass sooner.
But then what happens to Liv?
We have no way of knowing. Our own limited experiences are the only concrete information we have regarding time travel. Simply put, there are too many confounding factors to even make an assessment.
I see.
It is, however, possible that once events here stabilize, we will be able to obtain help in returning to the future. Therefore, I advise we wait until the Ithaca or other Atlas personnel arrive. We can then reevaluate.
Very well then, we wait. I will inform Delta 6.
You've returned. Let me know when you are ready to commence.
Apollo, what are the odds of this beacon successfully warning the Ithaca?
Considerably low. My estimates indicate the Estrella will continue burning beyond the arrival of the Ithaca, thereby blocking the signal. We can only be certain by waiting for that event to occur, though.
Given the state of Dr. Harlan's timeline, do we not already know that the beacon fails?
The causality between our actions here and the future is ambiguous. Though the Estrella's appearance has clearly had an effect, it appears your prior experience as Delta-13 did not. That difference may be caused by the magnitude of the changes, but it quite possibly could be the result of some other factor we are unaware of. Simply put, the relation remains unknowable.
One of my old Series 11 shells.
It appears to be in functional condition. Given the surrounding damage, that is impressive.
Let's begin.
Very well. Your new shell is right over there, awaiting your transfer.
My new shell.
Correct. Protocol dictates we should place the assessment data in the most secure storage solution available, Tier 6 or higher. That Series 11 shell should do nicely.
That should make waiting for the Ithaca far simpler.
Understood, 6. I will transfer when ready.
Acknowledged. I will attempt further optimization of the beacon in the meantime.
I'll prepare the transfer.
1 second. There we go. Sorry, just wanted to verify that I was still streaming.
Initiate through your ARM computer when you're ready. Shields at 95%.
Transfer appears complete. Please confirm, 13.
Affirmative, Delta-6. Transfer complete.
Acknowledged. You are now integrated into the activation bay's power grid, which I have connected to a mobile reactor. It should provide ample power for both you and the beacon, especially once you've engaged your hibernation protocol. I will do my best to keep you and the power supply safe.
Acknowledged. Delta-6, will you let me know if the anomaly reappears?
Peculiar, though prudent. Very well. Initiate hibernation when ready.
I've set the protocol for timed disengagement so that we may awaken for the Ithaca's approximate arrival.
Excellent. It is unlikely anyone else will arrive in the meantime.
Indeed. Ready when you are, Jack.
Good luck, Delta-13.
See it. Whoa. Got really quiet. Inky darkness. Oh, hello.
Ithaca, automated nav transponder. Vessel entering Saturn orbit. Preparing for course correction burn. Destination, Earth. End of transmission.
Oh, good. I'm not overgrown.
Unfortunately, it appears the radiation has not yet subsided. Unless Delta-6 managed to improve the beacon, the Ithaca will not be warned.
Delta-6, this is Delta-13. What is your status? Delta-6, status.
Oh boy.
I'm not picking them up on sensors either. However, there is a high-gain broadcast coming through. From the Ithaca. I'll patch it in.
This is the SCI Ithaca automated nav transponder. Extraction burn initiating. 3, 2, 1.
The vessel is passing by on its way to Earth.
Then, as anticipated, the beacon has failed. Effectively, we are witnessing the origin of the biomass outbreak.
Correct. This does appear to be the final moment from which the ensuing series of events could be changed. A tipping point, if you will.
Still no signal from Delta 6?
I'm afraid not, no. Without their assistance, delivering our data on the base genetic material is far less tenable.
How so?
Simply put, we are back to not knowing what happens next. An Atlas team could arrive within the hour, or within a year.
Or never.
Precisely. Delta 6 would have been able to assist such a team in finding us while we're in hibernation. But without that, we must err on the side of extreme caution.
Well, the CubeSat.
How long can we remain in hibernation?
The main issue is the lifespan of that mobile reactor. At current operation, it should last roughly 50 years. If we were to minimize the beacon's output, we could last roughly 500 years. But then I doubt anyone would find us.
I agree. The odds of someone discovering us would be quite low. But what if someone knew to look? If they wouldn't give up on looking?
Captain Rhodes.
Exactly. If we hibernated till 2537...
She will search for us once we fail to return. In fact, if we altered the beacon's message to one she would uniquely recognize.
And time its broadcast to resume when she would start searching.
Then we should be easily found, with power to spare. Pausing beacon now. I'll set it to resume shortly after when we would have disappeared. Beacon set. The next time we awaken, it should be due to Captain Rhodes having received our message.
Yep.
Initiate hibernation when you're ready.
Let's go. And power down. Back to the inky quiet. Man, I wish waiting was this easy.
Has been quarantined. Passage to and from is prohibited until further notice.
Oh, got interrupted.
Jack, listen.
Message to all colonies. Do not, I repeat, do not attempt passage to Earth. Any and all traveling vessels, avert course to your nearest off-world settlement. All passage to and from Earth is prohibited until further notice.
It's a distress call from Earth.
And not the only one. I'm intercepting countless transmissions from ships disobeying orders. Fleeing Earth.
Oh, jeez.
We know every major event of the next 400 years. There must be some way to help.
We're already doing everything within our power. We should conserve energy, Jack. Reinitiate hibernation when you're ready.
Back to it. I mean, if you knew what was going to happen for the next 500 years for major events, wouldn't you try to say something? Do something? Just look at that go. We'll get interrupted again. Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good. Uh-oh. Asteroid storm.
Apollo, what is happening?
We're passing through a debris cloud. It is mostly comprised of smaller particulates of rock and ice. But sensors indicate a denser cluster on collision course.
How long before it reaches our position?
We have approximately 20 seconds before impact. However, the trajectory places the affected area outside our immediate position. We will experience some impact tremors, but this bay should provide adequate protection.
Right. Adequate. It's gonna rock this place.
Impact imminent. Collision elected. 3, 2, 1.
Oof. Oh.
Tremors subsiding.
That it?
Minimal damage to the activation bay.
That sounds...
The impact appears to
sarcasm.
destroyed the mobile reactor.
What are our options with limited power?
I now estimate we will fall short of reaching Dr. Harlan's time by nearly a century. Our only option now is to initiate a complete shutdown, to leave all remaining power for the beacon when it restarts in Harlan's time.
Is there no other way to provide sufficient power?
Negative. With the reactor destroyed, I believe this is our only option. But as long as the distress call reaches the Doctor and Captain, they can retrieve this shell and transfer your preserved memory core.
We can
Good
hope.
luck, Jack. Disabling all non-essential subsystems. Goodbye.
Oh boy.
Apollo.
Oh, Apollo gave up. Oh boy, full shutdown. Oh, that got super dark. Ooh, creepy. Creepy, creepy, creepy. Waiting, waiting, waiting. What will happen? Well, I was gonna say that's been exciting. If anything, it's been almost 2 hours. I think I'm gonna leave us here on this cliffhanger, and then we'll jump back into it another day. I was gonna say I'm gonna go ahead and download this and put it on YouTube for viewing later and your viewing pleasure. But hopefully you enjoyed watching this as much as I did playing it. Oh, wait a second. Pickle Fiets? I was gonna say, I hope I'm saying that right. Thank you for the follow. I was gonna say, I know you came in a little bit late here on it, but definitely at least this way you can keep up with the rest of it. And I was gonna say, I did already post the other ones on both my YouTube and on the past video. So if you want to take a look at that, I was gonna say, please, by all means, catch up with the series. I was gonna say, we started with the Lone Echo for the first one. That was a 2-part that went on. I was gonna say, the other ones so far, we are on part 4 at this moment. So you're about 4, maybe 5 hours behind when it comes to the current series. But definitely, I hope you'll join me later on for the next one of this. But at this moment, I wish you guys a good rest of the night, and see you later.